So there's a pretty big announcement last week from Salesforce, and the net of it is this. They have made the decision to move to outcome-based licensing for their AI agentic offerings. So why is that interesting? One, customers now need to figure out, understand what that means. Yes, there's some kind of overarching commentary that's out there that this is going to be better for customers. It signals the fact that Salesforce must be really confident in the results, in outcomes being achieved. Otherwise, why would they move to this? There's commentary out there that, hey, they're listening to customers, and all that's probably true. I'm not going to suggest it's not. But still, let's go back to my first point. Customers now need to understand this. They need to still apply and run effective negotiations. They still need to craft and deliver the right messaging. They still need to get the right transparency. And they absolutely need to make sure their overarching larger Salesforce deal, which has other licensing metrics, which likely has many other products, likely has many different order forms. And don't get me started on customers that also have CELA, or CELA construct, which requires a whole other level of negotiation, prep, and execution effectiveness. But at the end of the day, look, I am gonna give recognition to the fact that, look, giving an outcome-based offering could be positive. It could be. But let's get into what needs to actually still be done and given by Salesforce. Before I do that, let's just talk a little bit about the mechanics. And talk about Agentforce Help Agent. It was announced last week. It's going to be generally available in July, and today's July 1st. It's an autonomous AI-driven service agent, right? Side note, kind of like Sierra that Brett Taylor went off and created, but that's a topic for another day. It's $2 per successful resolution. So that $2 number is not a new number. If you remember right, when it was conversation, or Agentforce was conversation-based, it was $2 per conversation. What's a conversation? How do you forecast it? So forth and so on. There was problems there, but it's $2 per successful resolution. You can actually purchase or pre-purchase packs of number of resolutions. There is a minimum that it's 1,000. So that's something that's interesting. I would obviously tell you that you need to negotiate down that $2 price. You need to absolutely push on those packages or packets or prepaid plans, whatever you want to call them. You need to push on that. Likely, you're not going to need it. You haven't been able to figure out. The flywheel is going to continue to spin. You better get volume discounting structures. You better get those commitments from Salesforce. You better get renewal price protection, so forth and so on. All of these things, because of the concept, there's still a flywheel tied to this, right? Even though it's outcome-based, not consumption-based. Again, pay per resolution. Ultimately, you don't pay at all if the issue isn't resolved. Okay, so that's key. Like, what is a resolution? What does that mean? What Salesforce has talked about is, as long as there's no negative feedback, I didn't get the answer I wanted, or there isn't a flip or an ask for human interaction, right? Pushing it to your service desk, it's resolved. So if there's negative feedback, if there's a push for human interaction or escalation, there's no resolution, you don't pay for that. Again, I think there's some conversations that absolutely need to be taking place between the customer and Salesforce. What does that mean for your scenario, right? I think you need to really push through that, maybe get some definitions directly into your order form. Another thing that's important here, so Data 360 and Agentforce, it's not metered, okay? So there's no metering of those pieces. They are unmetered. So again, a lot of positive potential here, right? But still, you still have to negotiate that upfront cost. You still need to pre-negotiate those pre-purchase packets of resolutions. You absolutely need interim and future price protections around renewal. You definitely need to understand how this works in terms of swap rights, as an example, and really challenge Salesforce to continue to define, tailor, accommodate your situation, because your service, your customer support issues are going to be different, although commonality with others. So yes, they have a standard, but you can't be standard.